I'm Stan, and you're watching SC Living Outdoors. Bucket left, baby. What's up, guys? I hope you're having an awesome day. I know I am, because I am getting into the mountains right now. I just got into the gorges, the Jocassee Gorges, right below North Carolina, in northern Pickens County here in South Carolina. The reason I'm so excited is because when I come up this time every year to scout, it's like fall hunting season is finally here, because this is my favorite place to go. It's my favorite place to hunt. So tomorrow all day, my buddy Dave and I are gonna just scout and try to find some honey holes, some places that we can fill some tags this year. We know some places to look, and we know some places to start scouting, but we're gonna just try to find some new spots. There's gonna be a little bit of difficulty because Hurricane Irma came through, got here Sunday night, but it really got here on Monday, so 5 days ago or so, and there are definitely some trees down. Dave's already up here and says there are some roads closed that we were really hoping that we were going to be able to scout, put out cameras in some areas that I don't know if we're going to be able to get to, but that just means that we're going to try to find some new places. I'm going to try to show you guys what I do, the steps that I take to really be successful up here, what I look for when I'm trying to find sign for animals here in the mountains. So stick around, it should be a lot of fun, and hopefully we're going to see some cool stuff and find some killer spots.
Both sides. So they obviously got a tractor back there doing some work.
All right, guys, so we just put up our first camera right there on that tree. You see it right there, and there's a really good bear trail coming right through these trees. Right there, you see them coming through. And see how that sign where it goes by the tree right there? That sign digging out. And then they walk up right through there. So the camera's aiming down the road. That's what you're looking for when you're scouting for the bears up here. You want to try to find trails. They're pretty consistent using trails a lot of times. And in this area, I know that they're in here because I've killed a couple bears in here in the last 3 years. So we're going to put a camera here and hopefully we get some good pictures. All right, guys, we're in spot number 2. I'm with my buddy Dave. Right there he is. We're trying to find some bears. There's my camera right there for this spot. This is actually where I killed my bear last year. I was climbing one of those straight trees right behind me, but you can see that there's a pretty good opening coming through here, and right in front of that big tree right there, there's some good tracks. So put a camera in here. This is kind of a flat spot for the mountains, and there's a lot of white oaks in here. On the way in, we actually found a spot where a bear dug out a yellow jacket nest and a bunch of muscadines. So this whole little area is just covered up with them, we think. So we're gonna keep scouting and hitting new spots and putting out a bunch of cameras, and I'll keep showing you guys what I find. This is something else you look for when you're scouting for bears. And Dave actually found this. You can see that there's a hole right there, and then there's a better one right here where the bear was digging out a yellow jacket's nest to try to get in there, and you can see the remnants of the, I don't know what you want to call it, the hive or the nest up in there. So he obviously got in there and got that one. But when you see something like this, you know you're in an area that the bears are frequent and they're feeding in that area. So this is also something you want to look for. Like a little monkey. We're scouting. We followed this creek way off the main road. We've probably been hiking in here for 30 to 40 minutes, and we just found a very fresh deer rub. I mean, you can still see the bark hanging off the bottom of it, and they've just started rubbing because it's September 16th, so they have only been out of velvet like 2 weeks. Got a road up this way. There's a hog wallow right on the creek right there, and then you can see up this road a little bit. We're probably going to put a camera out on each end of this, and maybe it'll work out. I'm sure we'll get some good pictures. This might be a potential hunting spot, maybe not for the bears, but for everything else, hopefully. So we just found a scrape too. You can see it's really fresh as well, because there's no, you can see the hooves in there, and the leaves on this road. There are muscadines everywhere. This is just looking like a better and better spot. We got to figure out where we're going to hang a bunch of cameras in here, but it's looking good. We're way off the road, the main road, so the farther back in here you get, usually the better and better it starts to look. All right guys, we found some fairly fresh bear tracks. Pretty sure it's a mama with some cubs. So if you look, it's kind of hard to see. Let me see right here. There's the toe, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the back or the pad of the foot. That's a front foot of the mama. Let me see if I can find the baby track for you, where the younger ones were. There's tracks all over this road. A bunch of deer sign, hog sign. It's looking like a pretty good spot. We just got done putting out some cameras down below. Here we go. So here's a smaller one. It's hard to see because of the light right there, but you see 1, 2, 3. You can only see 3 of the toes, and the back pad's right there. And that's, for the most part, what we're seeing. The first real good tracks we've seen. So there's definitely bears in here. There's a big old deer track right there, and a bunch of deer tracks. Found a hog wallow right down there. So this area is loaded up with game right now. A bunch of muscadines, a bunch of acorns. So this spot should be pretty good here in a couple weeks when we're allowed to shoot something.
Another part of it right there.
Yep. So you can see here's the mama. It's got to be. It's kind of hard to see, but that's the pad right there, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 toes. That's a front foot. I got a big hand, so you can see what he looks like right there, or she looks like. It's a mama with some little cubs, unless there was a big one trailing her. There's a bunch of coyote tracks too. Right here, right there, coyotes. Coyote. So just strolling up and down the road. Eagle-eyed Dave spotting stuff. So when you're up here scouting in the mountains, the biggest thing that I focus on finding are white oak trees, which that's a big white oak right here, right there, and this is a big one too. You can tell they're white oaks because they have this flaky bark. You can see all the way up. Sometimes it's kind of tough to see until you get farther up there. But their acorn's a little different. Every acorn isn't the same. Just like you and me, every piece of meat or whatever you eat isn't the same. So this is a white acorn right here that blew down in the storm. There's a bunch of them. There's a little one right there, and here's a few more right here. And the deer absolutely munch the heck out of these things, and so do the bears. But the bears focus on white oaks and then a lot of muscadines, and the muscadines, it seems like, are pretty thick this year. We've been finding a lot of purple ones, and a lot of they're real strong where you can smell them. So you want to focus on these white oaks right here, like that, and then also on the muscadines. And if you can find the food source, you can find the animal. That's what you need to focus on as much as possible. This is why you come and scout in the mountains, because you never know what you're going to find. It's pretty cool. Bunch of little caves, rock outcropping where the slabs of rock are all piled up. That one looks like it's just leaning against the tree right there. That's crazy, but it's pretty neat. All right guys, so we're in one of our last places to scout for the day. It's getting close to 5 o'clock, and we just found a really great track right here. That's probably a good sized bear, not a giant. Right up the road behind us, right right up there about, I don't know, 40 yards. There was even a bigger track, but there's some pretty thick laurel right in there, and there's deer tracks coming all through here, bear tracks. There's a big old track from a deer where he jumped the road right there, and then some little, these are little bobcat tracks, we think. It's been rained on a little bit, so it's hard to tell, but it's looking good. Hopefully we'll find a spot we can put a camera here in a second. Putting up another camera right here. Down on that bottom, it looks really good. We're gonna go scout down all through there, but there's white oaks everywhere. Right there's one. There's one there, one there, one there, one there. There's some laurel growing up, so there's some cover for the deer to lay in, or the bears. There's a fresh scrape right there, and all those tracks were right out there in that opening. So this spot's looking really good. We're probably gonna put some more cameras up and kind of flood this area and see what's going on in here. For anybody wondering, this is why you come to the mountains, because you get views like that. That is awesome. We walked 10 miles today scouting, and that view is why I come up here and hike up and down the mountains every year to hunt, because you can see that every single day. It's awesome. Guys, we just got done scouting. We found a really good spot up in this area up here, and a lot of bear sign, a lot of deer sign. We're pretty excited about it. We're getting ready to leave here pretty soon, but I was going to show you real quick some of the stuff I use to maybe help you be more successful when you go hunting. So obviously you want a pretty good backpack. This is actually a game winner that I got from Academy. It's a good day pack. It's actually pretty big. You can fit everything you need in there. And I got a camelback that'll fit up through there. It's got an area set up for that. I have a Garmin GPS that I carry everywhere. You can see it's turned on right there. It's a Garmin GPS Map 62S. It's a good GPS. I carry a pair of Zeiss binoculars. These are 8x42s. 8x42s, because you never know when you're hunting or scouting if you want to see another ridge. You know what's on the other side. You might need some binoculars. I recently got these, which they were awesome today. They worked really good. These are Brotree. You see right there, Brotree Tundra trekking poles. They extend basically way out. They'll compress down to about 16 inches or so, and then extend way up. They work really well when you're scouting, hiking, and walking a lot. And then I have a good pair of hiking boots. These are not necessarily what I wear when I'm hunting. I have a pair of rubber tall boots that I wear to minimize scent when I'm hunting, but these are Columbia boots. They're really good, waterproof, really good for hiking. So that's what we use for the most. That's what I use for the most part to help me be as successful as I can. So altogether, I put out 5 cameras. I think Dave put out 4 or 5. He's going to come back in a week or so and put out some more on a road that we didn't have access to today because of Hurricane Irma. But we found some really good spots. Put all the cameras actually out on 3 locations, and they're actually all within about a mile of each other as a crow flies. Found more tracks today than I've ever found before, or we've ever found before, and a ton of deer sign, hog sign. So the upcoming fall is looking really good. What you want to look for the most when you're up here is, one, the most important thing I think is getting away from the main road. Most hunters hunt within 100 yards of the road. If you can get away from the road, that's half the battle. Then you want to look for the most important food, and that is muscadines and white oaks. Hickory nuts also are in there somewhere, but they really pound the muscadines when they're on the ground, and then after that, the white oaks. And that's for the bears mainly. The deer really focus on the white oaks a lot. If you can find areas that have muscadines, white oaks, and some hickory nuts, you're probably in a really prime spot. And a lot of times you can even smell the muscadines. If you can smell the muscadines, then the bear and the deer for sure can smell them. So that's what you want to look at, and that's what you want to focus on. Today was a lot of fun. We had a lot of success, and hopefully this fall will be just phenomenal. So thanks for watching. Hopefully this video will help you be more successful, and we'll catch you next time.
Snowflakes fall on the evergreens, and they cover all the streets.